Ladies and gentlemen, I have a lady here. It's a lady I know strictly around the park. So I think she's the ideal candidate to get some information from. We are turning the page. We incorporated music and now we incorporating supporters. And not just supporters, women supporters, ladies. And these ones that will be coming early, these were passionate supporters. So without further ado, I would like her to introduce herself, give her name and any background she had before she got involved with soccer slash football or whichever way the experience.
Good greetings to everyone. My name is Portia Joseph, Trinidadian. Came to Canada June of 1969. Resided in the West. Attended George Harvey Secondary School. Exhibitors supporter. Avid exhibitors supporter. Passionate exhibitors supporter. Die-hard exhibitors supporter. True exhibitors supporter.
I noticed there's no room for me on this because these adjectives, these adjectives going on. So how were you there in the beginning of the exhibitors formation?
Yes, I was. The as I call him, the CEO of exhibitors. I was married to.
I think you should give us the name of this big CEO.
Oh, the gentleman, sorry, the CEO, Michael Lionel. I was their secretary soccer club from the Street Guys Soccer League. Not only an avid supporter, but a great heckler of all the other teams that have tried to oppose us. I was a number one cheerleader for exhibitors. I was also a laundry person. Because sometimes with single men, you can't always depend on them to have their uniforms clean for the next game. So one of my duties, besides being the secretary, was collecting uniforms.
Okay, now, if you had that type of job, did you bump anybody out of that job, or did you have that job originally?
Yes, that job I was handed that job by Michael because of the fact that some men would forget their pants or didn't wash their pants and have a different. We didn't look like a team, so the team uniform wasn't always present. So that's when the idea of they will have to come with extra clothes because they'll need to surrender not only the tops but also the pants. And I'll take them home, launder them, and assign them to the right players.
And
so
that's
I didn't bump anybody out.
And that's from day one, right?
Yes. That was probably about month 2.
Okay,
when the excuses were.
Did you see the league move? Seeing that you were there from early, and
I remember the league starting at Oakwood Collegiate and back there. That was pretty close to our favorite party place, 1348 Sinclair. From there, we moved to where Sinclair Subway now lives. Sinclair Subway's home, Bathurst and Sinclair. I believe there was a Loblaws right in front. We played in the back. Not as large as field. I think there were only 2 fields there. Not as large as our final home and resting place, Flemingdon Park.
So when you got to Flemingdon Park, and before we go to Flemingdon Park, the original knockout, you did win.
Yes.
Seeing that you had the team uniform, how was that feeling? Mike got you to come out to this thing.
Mike couldn't stop me from coming out to this thing.
When I say he got you to come, when I say he got you to come out, to me, the impression I have over the years knowing you now is that you don't joke. right? So it's not to have you out. I'm switching it back on him to say, well, he can't just have you out and they're doing nonsense because
No,
you're
no,
not
no,
going to
no.
waste your breath, kind of thing,
Oh no, no, no,
right?
no. And
So that's what I'm
being a
saying.
heckler, being a heckler of other teams didn't mean that I didn't get down on my team if they did something that wasn't acceptable. You
It's
know,
all right. That must be hush hush.
yeah, like what are you doing, you guys? Close out.
Yeah. Okay.
Won't scold them in public, but you know, when it's time to come off and have your little huddle, you have to say something.
You had that privilege of saying something in huddle too.
Yeah.
Might
Yes.
might give you too much rain, you know. All right, I want to talk to him about that. You really had some authority. You really did. You really did. That's true. So you celebrate your victory and stuff, and we came in '76 to the park, and you had a neighbor who did well in
Yes.
Parkdale, and I understand you guys used to practice adjacent or very close to each other. How you felt
Yes.
at that, and what did that cause anything, or how did that go?
No, that didn't develop any rivalry or jealousy. It was a cousin relationship with Parkdale and exhibitors. Many of exhibitors players who we eventually uh, sort of what do you call it, traded, not got over on our side, were initially Parkdale players. They Many of them went to school in Parkdale. Many of them were born and raised in Parkdale. So exhibitors in Parkdale, I team it as a cousin relationship. So there was no jealousy, rivalry, hatred, or regret when Parkdale won.
So you're trying to tell me you celebrated when Parkdale win? Let's
Yes,
take it to the. You did?
yes,
Why?
yes, we
Because they
did.
beat your menace?
Not only that, because we were one, I considered us family because they deserved it. They
It's not
deserved
because
it.
they beat players.
Oh, well, okay, yes, because they beat players. Players, you know, you were a member of players. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something about that that beating your chest that you guys can do. That you were so adamant that you were the best that year. I was happy to see that my cousins Parkdale actually
Okay.
took the crown. You know, despite the fact, I mean, beating players was just the cherry on top of the frosting on top of the whipped cream.
Oh, yeah, I like this. So we on to Flemingdon. I just gave you that glory. You see how much adjectives you use and just that little glory not even taking the first year, you're taking all the glory with Parkdale too. So okay, you can't win this one. Let me move on to when you didn't win then. So we on the park now, and I understand that you got some new players. How did that happen? And did the family, was this a family transition that you getting Rudy and all these people? Let's hear that now.
I think it was a magnet. I think many players that exhibitors finally acquired wanted to come to exhibitors because of the stigma that they knew that we were getting from other teams and from other supporters. I mean, it's not as though people were there beating us up, but we were underdogs. And people loved our vibe. They loved the fact that despite other people's interpretation of us, we still came out and did our best. You know, people would get into crap for not showing up for a practice. Like, sorry, like no, but it's not because you're a great player or a star player exempts you from coming to practice. No.
So you
So,
were finding you were part of the disciplinary committee too? Or wait, hold
no,
on.
sir, I just had a big mouth. Uh,
Okay.
I just had a big mouth, and as I said, I took quite a lot of notes,
No, but
mentally and also
you seem to be calling the
in
right
written
things.
form.
You're calling the right things though.
Yes, but you have to practice to get to play. You can't just, you know, everybody has reasons sometimes where, I mean, you have to work. Like, you know, as I said, I couldn't attend all games on Sundays because I had a job. So, in order for me to get to attend some games, I had to trade my shift if I couldn't get anyone willing to take my shift. I can't call in sick every other Sunday. Like, you need that job.
Yeah. But
So,
as the person who doing the uniform, making sure the image of the team and the club is up to speed, you guys won regional knockout, so we need to put that on the record.
that's correct.
How did you feel about that?
Exorbitantly proud. Very good feeling. More reason to pop my collar.
And the reason why I say that is because you were very vocal on Flemingdon Park.
Oh
So I want to
yes,
make sure I
oh
put
yes,
the win under you.
oh yes. I was very compassionate, passionate, very a devoted exhibitors supporter. It's because of some of the flair some of the other teams had. And I thought too, because of the players that we had, at that time, we were looked at as underdogs. That's my personal feeling.
Mhm.
So I was always gung ho to make sure that we took a spoke out of any team that thought that they were it. I wanted to make sure that we took a spoke out of their wheel.
Oh.
Yes, we did. And as again, I was what should I say? Very proud of the performance of the players that many teams wouldn't even take a glance at because of their outlook, because of where they were from or what they represented. So I looked forward to, like, sometimes I'd be upset if I couldn't get my shift changed at work to come to a game. I'd be very upset.
Okay.
There were a lot of people who I should say are responsible for the success exhibitors had, mainly the players. Mike was their coach, manager. I think my biggest part was getting them their clothing ready and organized so we looked like a team on Sundays, and being there to cheer them on, and also making sure that my heckling skills were at their prime in regards to our foes, mainly players, if I remember the name correctly. We were not a favorite team, I guess, not only because of my big mouth, but there were many Rastas on the team. And at that time, we are our biggest enemies, us African people sometimes. So we weren't always welcome. There was bias before people even got to see who we were. So therefore, promoting the skills of the team and cheering them on was one of my great joys on a Sunday, if I had that day off after cooking and running down to the field. Yeah, love days of Flemo, days of my youth.
When you keep saying you're the underdog, exhibitors, if I remember correctly with the files, I think it's the first exhibitors won the original knockout 75, 76, and 77. But team that we had to retire knockout.
We weren't favored. That's why I mean underdogs. We weren't favored because of the midgets and the Orbans and the Flashes and everybody else. Like you guys were, what would I should say, icons in your supporters' eyes, and in my eyes, our team was the team that you need to beat.
All right. Yeah. One of the questions we're going to be asking the supporters, especially the female supporters, what other team, other than your team, you would have supported or liked to support beyond your team?
Beyond my team,
I know you can't say the word players because
Definitely not players.
well,
Definitely
all
not
right.
players. Honestly, not players. Not players. There are too many flashes. I would make comments like flashes, your battery dead. Uh, you know, I look forward to being SD on game days. I did.
So
I didn't take
no
it
other team,
personal.
no other team. You can come up with another team. I can give you plenty names.
Yes, Wandos is a team.
Yes.
Wandos would be the other team. Wandos.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And so you saw the league develop. So now I realize players wouldn't be in your vocab at all for the rest of the evening. So
No.
unless you, because, and that was good too. Don't get me wrong. That was good because it's good support for your team.
Yes.
And you need supporters like you. So don't get this twisted in any way, right? So
No, no,
now
no.
we are,
It was all heckling and love.
yes,
But
yes,
it was still once off the field, there was a lot of respect.
yes,
But
yes.
on the field, I'm nobody's friend. I'm not trying to be anybody's
I
friend.
want to take this opportunity to also let you know, even in the thick of the rivalry, I want to let you know that I always admire the way you handle yourself,
Thank you.
carry yourself, and I always respected you.
Thank you, sir.
I
And
always respected,
feelings reciprocated.
yeah, I always respected your stance, because you don't play, and
No,
that's good,
uh,
you know.
I try to play only with my grandchildren, and they too know their limits.
Did you go to any other the soccer events in the town, like a IRI tournament or anything like that?
Yes. Anything named soccer, I was there. I went to IRE tournaments. I went to other team, but once I like your team, I might not be there for the presentation, but I'll be there for your after party.
I
Sure.
understood that exhibitors were in IRI tournament.
Many IRE tournaments, not just one.
What you
Yes.
thought of the whole atmosphere of that
Atmosphere
tournament?
was a nice atmosphere, welcoming. Uh, Many people from different backgrounds because not everyone that attended the IRE tournament was from the Caribbean. There are many other teams that people played with that would know about the IRE tournament, but the IRE tournament was a chance for old friends to get together, people to make new friends, teams that were always interested in playing would find some, would get a chance to bring their own team. And, it was a good experience for some people. Some that's very memorable for some people who have never had the chance to play international ball. A great way to start the summer. People who were, hibernating, people who you hadn't seen since the last year of the IRE tournament, people who have just migrated. It was a good time to connect. It was a good family time. It was a good sporting event time. There was quite a lot of talent. It was a good time. I miss those times. So I think it will be something for the new generation to make that acquaintance.
Yeah. Were you supporting at that time still?
Yeah. I've been an exhibitor supporter from the inception of exhibitors until their retirement.
Okay. If exhibitors not there, you can't be supporting anybody else, eh?
Oh, no. When it came to the Street Guys League, I'm an avid exhibitor supporter. Once there's a team exhibitors, right? But for the other teams, yes, I would go out and support other teams. So it's soccer, football, and it's a game that I've never played and never had the desire to personally play. I mean, it's too personal contact sports for my desire, my liking. But all of my 4 children played soccer. So it is a game. It is a family game.
Did you keep that position in exhibitors throughout the years, or you relinquished that? You said secretary, right?
Yes.
Were you
No,
the
I've never relinquished. I've been the secretary from the inception of exhibitors because due to Mike, uh, if I couldn't attend the meeting, he would get the relevant information, and then I would have to put it into meeting form notes and add it to our file.
So in the preamp, you mentioned you went over, you glossed over something about you in track. Were you in track, and did that lead to, is it just you pass and you walk on a track, and now was it, what's this track thing?
My love for track started in sports games in Trinidad. Sports and games day. Then a teacher advised my parents that someone was interested in coaching me. Then I was introduced to Sergeant Anderson at the police barracks in Trinidad, and I went there 3 days a week for training. I love going there. The canteen was all mine.
What about the track? What about the track?
But I said I love going there, especially the canteen. The canteen was good. I was spoiled there, and
so hold on. If you're talking canteen, it must have been that you were showing some potential, because they wouldn't be keeping you. Okay, so if you had that potential.
Yeah, I had free reign of the canteen. I had when the cook knew I was coming, she would prepare something special for me, because I had to come straight after school, go home, drop my stuff, bathe, put on clothes, and I'd always want to know if I go in and sweat. Why? That's Sergeant Anderson, fresh.
Yeah, yeah.
And from when I migrated to Toronto in 1969, attended George Harvey Secondary, and their track team. One day on my way home from school, I noticed them practicing and stopped, and coach had asked me if I can run, and I said yeah, and then told me next morning to show up on whatever time, and I've joined the track team. I qualified. With my brother's permission, I was given the okay. I won 4 medals in my time with my duration at George Harvey. 2 of them for cross country, 100 and 150.
Question. Seeing that you stopped by Joe, did you still, that passion was still burning? Seeing the track and stuff.
Not track necessarily, but just being active in sports.
Okay.
Physical activity has always been my love.
But it seemed like you almost had the sense that track was where you would have been good at.
Yes, track is where I would have wanted to excel, and let that be my stallion. But because of financial reasons, I couldn't, and I was not offered a scholarship in 1974. So.
Okay, and then, oh, no, I think it's because the exhibitors.
You think?
Yeah, 1972 is very close to 75, you know. I'm not buying, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. Try something else. Don't try to fool the listeners. So now also your heckling on the park was on the button. So you had to be knowledgeable, because it wasn't no, you know, because in those days the sport wasn't that popular with the women.
No.
And the type of
with some women,
the way a person heckle or talk, we know they know the game.
Yeah.
Because you were saying certain things that you know based on the game, on how the game, and who can play and who can't, because you are attacking the heart of the opponents.
Yes, and little do people realize that sometimes, although a player, despite of their level of skill, might have that game plan, that game face on, they're not deaf. And sometimes they might try to turn you off, but that zing, zing finally gets to them. And it's reflected in the level of the game.
Yeah.
They know you can see the effect.
Okay.
Right. Sometimes some people Some people it's like an energizer, and then some people it's like a deflating device.
There you go. Now you're talking, because I'm now gonna call a player. You probably shake me up because I've been flashes because you call his name over a period of time, right? But
Oh, George, I love to heckle him.
so yes, who are your the favorite people you like to heckle, or who you feel you could get into their mind?
Auburn Batiste.
You figure you could get into his mind.
No, I used to love to heckle him because his brother Zagalu, Brian, well, he was an Exhibitors fan. And yeah, I loved heckling him. Johnny, I like heckling. You, I like heckling. Who else? Mr. Lonely, Mr. Anthony Loney.
Mm.
Yes, I love heckling him too. What's the other? What? Quite a few.
When you're going at the heart of the team, you see what I mean?
Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah, so
What did they move back to Trinidad? Tall. Can't remember his name, but he was an Exhibitors player too.
tall, not
Tall,
dark, Foxy?
yes. Foxy. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But I didn't used to go too hard on Foxy because he didn't he didn't display the attitude as the other players' members. So Foxy, I didn't go too hard on him.
So you know your team, you know this team. You probably get your nightmares. Oh my gosh, you're calling everybody.
No.
In terms of the supporters, did you have any interaction with the other supporters of opposing teams?
Yeah, friendly. 99% of it. Some people took it extremely personal, especially if they had chips on their shoulders. Yeah, but I never led to
What
any
you saying?
bloodshed.
It would go maybe a little beyond the game, or
No, but I mean, like, while the game is on and you making your comments or whatever, some people, especially if the person that you're heckling is someone that's concerning them, they would not take it too nicely. Like, telling telling somebody's loved one or whatever, you're heckling them, like, like when Auburn's going up for a ball, although his brother Zagalu is there, he was an Exhibitor supporter, although his brother was playing with players.
okay.
And I'd say, because your brother going up with me, somebody should break his foot. He say, yeah.
That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, the breakfoot. Portia was the breakfoot instigator. Portia was the breakfoot instigator. I'm glad you come out with it before I say anything.
Yeah, the way he coming up with this, we want to kick people. Somebody should break his foot. But I didn't want nobody ever broke his foot. And I didn't try to, but it was just passion.
Yeah, but and then the ladies would take offense to that.
Yeah. Especially your sister come to watch you play, and you hear somebody from the next team saying what break your foot. Your sister wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
But it's all in fun and games.
So if you had to wrap up all our little fun and games as you just put there on Flemingdon, how would you wrap up Flemingdon if you had to market Flemingdon as a historical point?
I would say melting pot for Caribbean and other peoples who are lovers of sports, especially soccer, to gather and exhibit their skills and passion for the game.
What do you think of the level of Flemingdon? Because the rivalry was high.
The rivalry was high, and the only reason the rivalry was high is because the skills displayed were high as well. So if there's people were there just, pussyfooting around as people wouldn't show that much interest and desire to come out and to, elevate their skills. So there was quite a high level of skills out there, many people.
So, and what do you think about seeing that you've mentioned in the level now, do you think that some of the players that passed through there, and it's a rhetorical question because I was just going to fill the question and I wouldn't do that, was capable of making national status, whether it be here or back home or whatever?
International. I thought many players had extremely high level skills, even higher than some of those playing in the Toronto League, that they could have, if the opportunity and they weren't stigmatized, they would have been able to be successful, to have names like Dwight York. Like, there are many Dwight Yorks out there, but because of the opportunity, and limitations, many of them haven't had, that chance to put their best foot forward.
So you missed the league?
Miss the family, embracing ambience, the connection of the league. That's what I miss. Because I believe too, my sons, basically, that was their Sunday evening. That was their Sunday because games started 11 o'clock sometimes?
Yeah, midday. Yeah, midday.
Yep.
After 12.
So we have to be there for 11. Don't show up 11:30. You're late, right? We have to be there for 11. So if somebody didn't have a chance to get breakfast, they'd have something right there. Somebody bring something. Yeah, we don't want to hear no croaking on the field.
The big M was always there to help you.
That's right. That's right.
The M was always there.
But yes, I miss that. And another thing too, I think that brought the children out to know each other, right? The youth knew because they were all playing together.
Yes.
Right? People who were locked up during the week, or, people had a chance to relate to one another, sort of for either form a bond or get some sort of knowledge or some kind of exposure to something that was needed at that time. So, and then it would encourage the children, boys and girls, to want to play soccer. Okay. Because not only because the men were playing, boys and girls would be playing there too. Yeah. Who was another one that grew up on the soccer field that I used to babysit quite a few Sundays? Jamal McGlure. When his father come and drop a push, I'm coming just now. He gone. Right? Yeah. So quite a few children get to know each other up on the soccer field.
So you used to walk them to the McDonald's or allow them to go?
Oh God! If you want to get in trouble with me, let me see you go off the grass on that concrete. You big, you go on the concrete. Go ahead. No, I would take them to McDonald's, but McDonald's is the last resort. The food I bring have to be all gone before we go to McDonald's. McDonald's for a drink, yes, but no burgers, no fries.
They must keep you busy because they ain't giving up on that McDonald's as easy.
No, but I have to eat my food first. Yeah. And I don't care if your father leave money with you. You alone not going to McDonald's. You're going to share your fries with everybody? Okay, then. This food have to finish first. Oh. Then everybody gets an ice cream.
So there you go. Why you didn't promote this food? Yeah, I didn't even know you used to have food.
Yeah,
I'd take you heckling and still come and beg for food if I know you used to have food. Oh my gosh.
Don't try that. You're coming from home with your belly full. You're coming from home with your belly full.
So there was a league after the Flemingdon, seeing that you show what the misses and what everybody missed at the Flemingdon. There was a league after Flemingdon, which was the Malvern League. No, yes. not the Malvern Youth Club, but the Malvern League. What you thought of the Malvern League? I understand in the preamble that you said, of course, there were some players or some people from the players team that had a team named Spoilers. So I know you was backing any other team against that team, but you mentioned they had a favorite team on the park over the period of time.
Yes. Well, Flemingdon Park you're talking about?
No, Malvern League, no.
Malvern, I supported Spoilers was a nice team. Yes, I'll support them. But then also too, I supported Everton. Because they had a sort of exhibitors. Anybody that didn't display players' international attitude, you're more likely to get me to gravitate towards you.
But you also know the personnel because the spoilers team was a different set of guys.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I was just trying to play you to see if you carry the sentiment from the spoilers on the park to up there. And if you say you were the spoilers, it means that you're aware of the fact that the personnel changed.
Yes.
Okay.
It was a different team on Malvern. Different team in Malvern.
Yes. Okay.
And then I lived pretty close to where they play in Malvern as well.
Okay. So Portia, I want to thank you as the first, ladies and gentlemen. Portia was the first person washing clothes for uniforms. She supported the first team to win 3 trophies, unprecedented.
Hip hip hooray!
Hip hip hooray! And she is the first supporter, not just supporter. She's the first woman on the interview circuit. And whatever first again you have. I know you want another first.
No, I don't want another first. I just want when I turn in the morning that the Father remembers me first. That's it.
That's a good first.
Yeah. And I'm not trying for any status. I have been blessed with a few grandchildren, a few children, and I'm thankful for my blessings.
Oh, and by the way, your children, you said your children played this sport in the pre-am?
My sons played in the Old Malvern, and my daughters played in the Malvern Youth. One played just 5 games, and they refused to give me a refund. I guess she played too many games. And the other went on for quite an extensive career at Malvern as a goalie.
A goalie?
Yes. I think one of the positions I would not choose if I played soccer, hockey, or anything like that.
That's the question I was going to ask you next. You get off, or how they get by?
No. I know my temperament, and yes, it's a sport, but that's not where I think I'll do my best.
Okay. So you support, although they wanted that, so they were good in that position?
Yes. Even her brother played soccer as a goalie. They won several primary school championships in soccer. They played right next to Birchmount. You know, there's a big field there. Yes, they played right there. He said, yeah.
So, okay, Portia, I want to thank you again for giving.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So you take care.
Much appreciated. You as well. Thank you. One love. Bye-bye.